Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Yeah, mostly.
You know what? I'm feeling really deep down good right now.
Me too.
I'm feeling really good, and you know what makes me feel really, really good? Is when people drop reviews. One of you lovely people over the weekend, actually on Tuesday, like last Tuesday, sent a really good review in our DMs. So I just wanted to read it here.
Slid directly into the DMs.
I'll just keep it anonymous. I don't know if you want your name out there, so we're just going to keep it anonymous. Here's what it said. Hey, Will and Alex. Just wanted to tell you both how much I enjoy the podcast. The first episode I listened to was Ape. I'm sorry. and I've been a fan ever since. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. Thank you so much for introducing me to Razorback. What a hidden gem that movie is. So excited to see what's to come. So thank you to the person who sent that. We did respond, obviously, and everything. But wow, what a movie to start with. Ape. with the ape flipping off the helicopter or whatever.
The thing I always remember about that movie is how excited you were to watch it, and
my excitement went away like almost immediately.
Like 2 minutes in, you're just like, "Oh my god, this is shit."
Oh, I thought it was going to be like an Inframan thing, right?
Literally thought that.
I thought it was going to be so good,
and I was like, "Will, it has like a two stars."
Like it's going to be so good
out
man.
of 10.
It's going to be so good. Are you kidding me?
It can't.
But Razorback is incredible. If
Yes.
you have not seen Razorback, go watch Razorback. It's so good.
I think Razorback finally got a Shout Factory or Scream Factory release. I don't even know, but
Funny
it got
enough-
some sort of release in the U.S.
Funny enough, Ape and Razorback are both like monster movies, technically. So
Yeah, one's good and one's shit.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Anyway,
How fitting.
So thank you for the review. We really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm on socials, so if you ever want to do that, leave a review or just DM us. That's cool too. This person also did give us a few recommendations. We do them every 5 episodes. If you're new here, go like, comment, subscribe, connect with us on all of our socials. YouTube's primarily where we're at, but you can go anywhere. We're on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, all that good stuff.
One of you also recommended 2 movies on our YouTube.
Yes.
From 2 people, 2 trash films made by people who have made lots of legitimate movies. So I assure you, those are added.
Just rest assured,
You will get your requests.
whatever requests you put in, we will put them on the list.
Yes.
We will get to them, so do not worry. Might take a minute, but yeah, we do them every 5 episodes. So,
And if it's a request for a year that we haven't done yet, then we'll get to them when they're in that year.
yeah. So if you want like a request
For the future.
soon, or I mean, if you want to request in the future, put it in. But if you want to request like in the next like 5 episodes or so to get into that kind of lottery, suggest one from the year we're in or a previous year.
Yeah.
Which there are tons of 80s movies we haven't seen. So,
And some of you have been kind of drop those.
So
70s
drop
and 80s
those
things.
But anyway, thank you so much. Really appreciate the engagement. Really appreciate all you guys listening. So thank you again. Let's get into the movie.
Before we go, I just want you to know.
Okay, what's up?
I will not accept any slander of this beautiful. This
I will keep it together. I will keep my slander at a minimum
because this is art. Okay. The film Nightmare Weekend exceeded every human expectation of stupid bullshit I could ever have.
What? I am still like this movie. I know I sound like a 90-year-old grandpa when I say this, but I am befuddled.
No,
I am like baffled. Like I still can't really comprehend what we just watched.
This is honestly, and I'm being bold here. I know I'm being bold. This is an all-timer of fucking bad, stupid shit. This is an all-timer. I can't.
Dude, it's so fucking stupid, but like very entertaining how stupid it is.
It fucking, the best thing about this movie is at no point during the entire hour and a half watching this, there is not a single point where I fucking had a single inkling of what the fuck they're going for.
Well, and there's more fucking plot holes than like Swiss cheese. Like,
The plot,
it doesn't. There's barely a fucking plot. It's just scenes that
you just
happen.
kind of piece it together, and then when you do, guess
Sorta.
what? It still doesn't make sense.
No. Well, okay. Some background on the movie. It is directed. Well, I just thought it was funny. I'm not
Okay,
gonna give
well.
like actual background.
I was gonna say.
H. Salah, who is on the fucking as credited, but it's Henry Salah.
Henry, yeah.
Is a French director.
Yeah, what did he make, Will?
Shocking on this podcast.
It's unfortunately not the first time.
No, shocking on this podcast that we get a director that has literally only directed porn films.
But the thing is, a lot of times that happens, it's directors who started with porn films,
Yeah.
and then transitioned into real, feature films. But no, this dude just
Well, no, he directed
Dicks.
one other movie other than he directed one movie after this, and it was a porn film.
it was still a porn film.
And so it's like he made one like just attempt at making an actual movie that has a lot of sex in it.
It's
and then
it's
went back
loaded with
to
sex.
Fucking making porn.
Yep,
So
good for him.
shocking, but also just so you know, the entire movie, and I do suggest you go watch it because it's highly entertaining.
It's on Tubi.
Your brain will melt. Just enjoy the ride.
You have to watch this
It's an
thing.
hour and 25. It's on Tubi. I think there's maybe a lower quality version on YouTube, but just go watch it.
Just watch it on Tubi in full HD.
Go watch it before this review. Trust me, you're gonna want to listen along after seeing the
You
movie.
need to see this.
Like
baby.
you need to see.
I
what
don't
we're
give a
about to explain.
shit.
You need to. You need to see this.
You need to have this movie inside
The
you.
entire. You need to have it make you feel deep down.
Deep
good.
down good, okay? In your heart, in your loins.
The entire crew is all French. It's a French film crew, and they ADR'd the entire movie.
Even though the actors are American.
But they're
Yeah.
but they're voiced by different people.
I guess. I have no idea.
Well, that's like the trivia I saw. Apparently, the entire cast, the acting cast, is different from the ADR cast.
Why?
And I'm just like, why?
I have no idea.
Well, and what's weird is it's mostly filmed indoors. So why couldn't you have just done live audio?
Because they didn't want to have any boom mics get in the way of their artistic vision.
You mean just people fucking the entire film? That's the artistic vision. I know you can't see it, but Alex is just
People
nodding
fucking
his- just
in
nodding his
very
head.
colorful backgrounds, okay?
So yeah, let's just get into it.
Well, first of all,
oh, do you want to? Is there more?
I want to
say
read.
about it?
No, I just want to read you the what IMDb says.
the plot
okay?
synopsis.
Yeah, I want to read this to you because
Here we go, and keep this. So bookmark this. Bookmark this section of the synopsis, okay?
Don't.
And tell me
Don't.
if this is what the movie is actually about.
Kind of.
I mean, vaguely.
A female scientist performs experiments on 3 college girls that turn them into drooling, murderous
Wrong.
mutants. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know.
She's not. Well, we'll get into it, but she's not the
scientist?
The scientist,
She's like his assistant.
and they're not really. I guess they're kind of experiments, but not really. And I don't know. Just here's our review because this fucking you try and make sense of this, okay?
well, this
As the audience, you fucking try and make
You
sense
watch
of
it
this.
and you tell me.
You tell me what it's about, please.
Because this thing starts out with 2 dudes on a motorcycle,
Yes.
and they go to like they're breaking in somewhere, and and there's
Well,
like
there's like a giant satellite right next to them.
it's on the roof of this thing.
And the guy is going up there. He has like his ninja gear. He has a rope with a claw.
Yeah.
And he's like climbing up.
And they're talking about how they have to turn the satellite, right?
And we get our main villain, I guess you could say, our antagonist for the film.
Do we?
Well, the scientist lady, right?
We don't see her in the beginning.
She's talking on the walkie-talkie with them.
Is
Yeah, she is. Did you forget that?
But why is she having them?
I don't know. I don't know why she's having them do it, but she is.
That's where she works.
She is on the other walkie-talkie. That's why it's even more confusing because she's the one.
But on the it's even funnier because on Wikipedia it says they're burglars.
Yeah, but they're not.
I don't know. They're burgling the.
But it's the same. It's like the same house that she's in, but she's talking to them on the walkie-talkie and telling them to
Do the thing.
Do the thing.
Yeah, they go up there and
anyway, he throws his rope up.
Both of them have a necklace.
Yeah, it's like a
half moon.
It's like a significant other necklace that you like put together and it makes a full sentence. But it's just two bros that have this.
And yeah, they're doing.
And they also both have. One has a blue handkerchief and one has a red handkerchief on them.
But only the blue one comes in handy
because they're bros.
Yeah, they do everything together.
We've got twin dragons over here.
They do everything together. Okay, and
so the guy goes to the door. So one's a lookout, and the other one goes to turn the satellite. So the guy throws his rope up there, starts climbing up. His necklace gets caught on like a peg,
and he falls, and then climbs back up.
And he's like struggling to get up, and he like throws his necklace. So the necklace doesn't get caught. He puts his necklace on the railing, and so he's trying to get himself up. And
we see a puppet.
A puppet says like, "Emergency! Emergency! Intruder!"
And this like fucking computer screen starts saying nonsense.
Now, for those of you who don't know that are new, I am a gigantic Power Rangers fan. Huge.
Oh boy.
The only reason I say that is because the robot like literally talks like Alpha 5 from Power Rangers.
It's
not as frantic.
Yeah,
but it literally sounds like Alpha 5.
It's like a little hand puppet.
Yeah, and it's like his name is George,
and you don't really know what the fuck it is.
All we know is he's attached to this giant computer.
Yeah, the computer that plugs into Apache.
But what's weird is like Apache is a separate computer, but they communicate.
But they can communicate, yeah.
And George is dangerous when Apache's on.
Shh, because Apache fucks with the time-space continuum.
So anyway, George throws up this fucking huge screen, and this is like the basis for the entire movie. A huge screen. Sure. No, I'll explain.
Yeah, sure.
It's a huge screen with a bunch of question marks, and that's how we felt the entire movie.
Well, there's that screen.
That's what I mean by like the antithesis of the entire movie.
But there's also another screen that like
giant screen of question marks.
It's like an object being scanned.
Yeah. So it like scans it and it just pixelates it very roughly.
Quickly, yeah.
86, obviously, but and then it turns into like a silver orb. And we're like, what the fuck? Why
and this silver orb, so yeah, his necklace on the railing turns to a silver orb.
And it looks like a spray painted ping pong ball.
And it launches at him.
And he like falls off the railing.
And it like pops his eye out.
Well, he's all bloody and he falls onto the steps and his friend like runs over.
And his face is like half melted off.
I don't really understand because it like...
Don't ask.
It went into his eye and somehow his face is melted off.
Well, there's the guy later who gets fucking exploded by it, Will.
Yeah, that's fair.
So don't ask questions. Because Apache...
Also, if you're thinking you're going to get an explanation... Just
for this? No.
Just for fucking get about it. Just
you don't get shit.
Just right now, I'll spoil it for you. You don't get shit. You don't get an explanation for shit. So, the guy's all traumatized and he's like brooding over his lost friend, right?
Barely.
So he's just like knelt next to a motorcycle and he's holding up the friend's necklace. And the woman comes by.
I think that's after they introduce the fucking the daughter.
That's after the daughter.
Who's in the aerobics class.
So
and she
invites her friends over for like a...
But they go to... Okay.
But they go...
There's two houses in this movie.
There's two mansions.
Even though I swear to God...
I think it's the same house.
I don't know if it is. I think one of them's like a Victorian, the other's like a Spanish Adobe style.
Yeah.
But
they're both like huge houses.
I don't know who invited who where. I'm going to be honest.
All I know is they're talking about something and the friend is going to get two of her other girlfriends
to go for a weekend.
The Adobe style mansion.
Yes.
While the daughter goes back to the Victorian style and talks to the dad. because they talk at the aerobics thing, it's just bullshit. It doesn't really matter.
That her dad's a big deal and he's a important scientist.
Well, he's doing lots of experiments on like behavior, I guess, is kind of what they're explaining, but we don't know what. And so she goes back to the dad, and he's of course writing documents, and she's like, "We're always writing documents, and when do you ever relax?"
And he says that. So, I don't remember what her name is.
Julie or
his assistant's there, the one who was on the walkie-talkie in the beginning, and she is basically she eventually gets established as the main baddie.
She's like the antagonist. The daughter does not like her.
Yes.
At all.
And she has a thing with the dude from the beginning whose friend died. Because he works for her?
I don't fucking know. Dude, I don't know how... It doesn't really do a really good job of like letting us understand...
But wait, there's more!
How these people know each other.
Doesn't matter. Because there's more. There's an arcade bar.
So they go to the arcade bar.
The three friends...
So the three friends get picked up by a limousine.
Who gets told not to drink.
Yes, and then there's a butler that's evil.
And a maid.
Is this making sense yet? Because
who's afraid of spiders.
I feel like it's not making sense at all, but that's because...
But fuck you. She's afraid of spiders.
So yeah, there's the house servants, basically.
The house staff.
The house staff, and one's a limousine driver, and she doesn't want any alcohol on him because he's driving the subjects over.
And he has a drinking problem, as we will see.
At a certain point, she does talk to the motorcycle guy, and says that he has to like collect...
Get over this.
He has to get over his friend dying.
Yes.
And
it's not your fault.
And help her do the experiments.
And help her do what she wants to do.
Because apparently they're a thing, too.
Yeah, they're fucking, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. So she kind of instructs him to follow these girls.
For some reason.
Because they're going to be the test subjects, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know how she came upon that. I don't know how that happened. I don't know where.
But they're going to be.
But they're going to. So the limousine takes them to
stop.
It's clearly a diner.
Yes.
It is clearly just a diner.
It's like a roadside diner, and there's even like a van selling T-shirts outside.
But for some reason, when they go in, it turns into a like nightclub bar.
It's an arcade bar.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of arcade machines and like 2 tables and a bar.
It's like a tiny little bar
with a bartender who has a shitload of 7-Up.
A schlubby bartender with just 7-Up galore.
But they go there, and these 2 dudes start hitting on them. One of them just...
These are the 3 girls, by the way.
Yeah, he just keeps jamming some music. And he goes outside, and he flattens the limo tire.
So they all like hit on each other, and the limo driver's drinking... He's drinking a like little shooter bottle out of 2 pieces of bread
that the bartender gives him.
It's his special.
Yes.
So he puts the bottle in between 2 pieces of bread and drinks it from the bread. Like that's supposed to conceal anything.
It's inconspicuous.
I mean, it's very apparent what's going on.
You thought it was a flask. It's even more basic than that.
So they get in the limousine, the 3 girls and the 2 guys.
Yes, and then because the dude flattened the tires, they pull off on the side of the road. The guy stands there and
So the guy
jams.
They're all like in a field.
The 2 girls are in a field.
The 2 girls are in a field.
The dude is by a motorcycle jamming.
Well, because it's also the motorcycle guy from the beginning. That's
the limo driver is fixing the tire.
Is this making any fucking sense?
And the woman and the dude with the mustache are in the back seat fucking. Yeah. And at one point, they are fucking so much that the fucking limo gets knocked off the tire jack.
Yeah.
And we see a shot of the limo shaking, and it's clearly not the same location by the road. They just parked the limo in a fucking grass field and had someone shake it.
Dude, this episode...
Did you notice that?
It's just going to sound like 2 madmen just rambling about, like, nonsense.
Because it is nonsense.
I swear to God, this is what happens in the movie. But it sounds like...
Oh, and the dude, when the dude is jamming on his Walkman, we keep getting shots of random articles of clothing getting flung out the fucking window of the limo.
In the limo.
So it's like... skirt, shirt, panties, boxers.
So they finally get to the Adobe mansion.
Without the dude.
Yes.
Without the two guys.
So the two guys do not come with them.
They go back to the bar.
So they're like swimming and they're having a good time and they're talking about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also when the dad starts doing the experiment on the Doberman.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait. Sorry. The evil lady starts, because she has to go pick up the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so she starts driving to pick up the dog. And while that's happening, Apache connects to George.
Because the daughter wants to play a game.
Like a racing game.
Because we find out the George puppet and the computer is in her bedroom.
Yeah, so
The George...
So George is in her bedroom.
The Apache terminal is in the lab, but the George terminal, which connects to the Apache terminal, is in the girl's bedroom. Do you get that?
This episode is fucking wild. It's all over the place.
Now listen, that's what happens in the fucking movie.
So
she has her own supercomputer terminal in her bedroom.
She pulls out a fucking steering wheel.
Because she says, I want to play a game.
Yeah, she wants to play a racing game. She says, boot up the racing simulation. And
he does. And she takes
does.
out a little, like those little attachments for video games.
And while the evil lady is outside of her car pulls into drive. And
she like leans over to get something out of the glove compartment. Remember?
Yeah, and it starts driving, and she can't control it, and we get all these like weird sped up shots
as it's like dodging. So it's like dodging traffic in the game. And then it's also dodging traffic in real life.
And so she's driving all over. She finally, the daughter gets bored and stops playing the game for a minute. And then the woman grabs the dog and she arrives at the house. And then the daughter boots up level 4, which I guess is the hardest level.
And it crashes.
And crashes immediately. And the real car crashes into the real tree.
Into a tree, yes.
And she loses the game, and she's like, "Okay, I'm done."
And yeah, the Doberman like barks at him, and they turn something into
it's like perfume or something.
An orb.
They turn it into an orb, and the dog swallows it.
And then it calms down.
And it calms down. So I guess he's doing mood stabilization.
And she says, like, you have to make this public. If you don't make this public, it could fix so many issues with the world.
So her issue with him, what I gathered, is that she's annoyed that he won't do human trials.
Yeah. And he's
only tested on animals.
Well, no. There's also a knob. And it's like a fucking...
He can't go past 90 or
No,
whatever.
40.
40.
He can't go past 40. And she thinks that's ridiculous.
Well... Yeah, she also gets pissed at him for not doing human trials.
Yeah.
Like, he won't test this out on humans because he thinks it's too dangerous because, I don't know.
But there's also a scene, don't forget, where she makes a phone call to some dude sitting in a shadow.
Yeah, well, so what I got from that is he's the one in, like, San Francisco or San Diego or whatever.
He's the dude in San Jose.
Because she's selling, like, the stuff to someone.
Corporate secrets.
But it's just a man in shadows, and you never...
He's like, is the experiment on? And she says, yes, the 3 test subjects have arrived.
You never get a fucking explanation of who this guy is.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But she tells the traumatized guy from the beginning that he needs to get 3 personal objects.
Yeah, because she wants to test it out on humans.
Now, this barely comes into play. I'm not even... But he goes into one of the...
It's almost like they forget about it.
Because I feel like anything can turn into a fucking orb at some point.
Yeah. Because anything does. I mean, ice cubes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, like...
Turn into... That's
toothpaste.
That's not a personal item.
Then, like... But yeah, he goes into, like, one of their rooms and takes, like lipstick or something.
And then he's in another...
And then, no, but don't forget, he takes it, and then she comes in there and tries to fuck him.
Yeah, and he refuses her.
And what does she say? Like, you'll never get what you want?
You'll never get what you want. I don't...
Sure.
Listen, 2 people wrote this movie.
Well, I already told you, one in French.
One in English.
And it was like Google translated, okay?
You'll never get what you want.
And, oh my God. And then there's a fucking part. So...
Well, so the daughter also rollerblades back to the diner.
For some reason.
And she goes in, and they just...
So earlier, we introduced them earlier.
Yeah.
It's this couple. It's like this biker guy and his girlfriend.
Well, and what's weird is... So... the depressed guy that lost his friend
Yes.
is in the bar.
Yes.
And the daughter's in the bar. And
Yes.
they just look at each other. And that is like...
But at the same time, the biker guy, the bad boy, and his girlfriend, they're at a pinball machine.
And he like
And
starts...
he becomes the pinball wizard. Well,
he starts...
the pinball dick wizard.
He's
Okay.
He starts like... You know how like people slam into the fucking pinball
Yeah.
machines to make it tilt?
Well, he starts slamming her
He starts fucking her on... his girlfriend on the pinball machine
while
everyone in the bar
Is fine.
watches.
And-
And I love the bartender. He's my favorite because he just pours 7-Up the entire movie. And so he's watching it and he's just pouring 7-Up into a glass and it just overflows.
But she she watches him as the guy does it. And he and as the guy is fucking her, he's like looking at her, and then she looks back at the traumatized guy, and they keep watching each other, and it's like
What's weird is
Will,
like
the movie is making connections for you.
well, this is where they like fall in love, basically.
Because
the depressed guy and the daughter.
She goes back to the house. She talks to George.
And she ties. Remember, she ties the scarf. It's like a monogram scarf onto his motorcycle, and he at some point gave her
His
handkerchief.
And so she goes back to George, and
Now,
she's
she also
sniffing.
remember they did talk to the daughter, the two that fucked on the pinball machine. Talked to the daughter, and they're like, the guy is interested in the daughter.
Yeah.
The schlubby pinball wizard is into the daughter, and he's like, hey, like do you want to come? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but again, we just established that he is interested.
He
in
wants
her.
it.
So yeah, she goes back to George.
She tells him, I feel weird. And I was like, she's horny. And then she
she's
just
like,
keeps
there's
going.
like a hole inside my heart.
It's like in my stomach and in my
I'm
heart.
all fluttery, and
I just keep
feel
thinking
weird.
of him. And I'm like, she's horny. And
Well,
he just keep and
George
is
does
like,
some bullshit calculations.
you're in love.
You're in love.
And
Jessica is in love.
and it's like the probability, and it's like all this shit about like
The probability that he will like a white dress is 88%, and here is the percentages of how you can meet him organically. Hiking, bar.
go to a bar, hitchhike. It's like, okay,
Jesus
cool.
Christ.
Because George is tapped in to Apache. Okay.
Yes. So Apache knows. So she hatches a plan to hitchhike.
Yes.
To get the affection of this guy, because they're like madly in love at this point, even though they've literally just stared at each other.
Well, is this before the first woman swallows the pinball?
I honestly, I cannot remember.
Doesn't matter.
So at a certain point, one of the three friends, they're still hanging out at the...
One of them, the one who was fucking him in the back of the limo,
Yes.
invites him, like sneaks him into the house, the mansion.
Yeah, so they start like kissing and everything, and she like teases him
And goes into the bathroom.
and goes into the bathroom, and the orb like shoots out of the drain.
I don't remember where it came from. I'll be honest, I don't fucking
Because
remember.
remember the little drain thing pops off, and just the orb fucking does.
Sure it will.
It does that fucking red screen with the fucking like shot thing going on.
No, she was in the shower. I don't
Well, yeah,
remember.
no, it comes out of the shower drain.
Yeah.
Is what I'm talking about. It
Sure.
like shoots through the shower.
Yeah, I believe
drain.
that. I believe that.
Yeah, because that's a personal item, right? Right?
The shower drain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, like it's like her makeup thing turns into the orb.
From the shower drain?
No, from the fucking tray of like,
But it goes into the shower
random
drain.
objects.
Sure.
That's not even really hers, so I don't get why the personal objects things was even a thing.
Sure, Jan. But yeah,
Anyway, so she gets, she becomes all fucking weird because
and
she swallows the orb.
while she's in there being weird, the dude falls asleep and he starts dreaming about how he was fucking her in the limo. So we get more shots of them fucking in the limo.
A lot. It goes on for a long time.
That wasn't enough. And then she comes out and is acting like a cat.
Oh yeah, she acts like a cat, and he's all weirded out.
And then that just ends.
That's it.
The scene ends.
So I do want to mention here, this movie
Please.
goes at like fucking Mach 10.
In case you haven't noticed.
It is just fucking just goes. It's
Yeah.
just like the hour and 25 minutes. It doesn't explain shit. It doesn't linger on any scene except for the sex scenes and just fucking goes.
I wonder why.
It just fucking goes.
Yeah. Then after this, or
So
at some
now
point,
after this, now we get where she's hitchhiking, right?
and yeah, the fucking the
schlubby-
bozo.
I laughed really hard at the part where he like pulls up and you're not sure if it's the
Well, no,
guy.
before that, don't forget he's hanging out with his girlfriend
Oh, and she's like, "Why don't you go fuck your little Miss Innocent?"
because he's like not into it
He's
anymore.
like, "Fine, I will." And like,
So he goes off,
so the daughter is
He
on
pulls
the
up
side of
to
the road. I love this scene.
and she thinks
Dude,
it's
I unintentionally laughed so hard because you're just it's like supposed to be like tension filled, right? Because
the whole thing. Yeah,
you're wondering if it's the guy.
but we
or
know.
not. But we know because he's wearing a different helmet. So he like lifts up his fucking visor and the strap is like on his chin and he looks all like derpy and
It's like
shit.
smushing his face.
He looks all like uncomfortable with it on and it's all like and then she gets all freaked out and she tries to like, you know,
Yeah, he
ride him
chases her.
off. They chase into the woods and
And then he
starts,
catches
like,
up to her and like says something, but I just remember that she pushes him over,
Oh yeah, he's on his motorcycle still and she gently pushes him over.
and as he's falling over, you just ADR bitch. As
no
he, like,
emotion in it whatsoever, just bitch.
as he awkwardly falls over,
It's
and then
like they just told the ADR actor to just say the word bitch.
just say bitch.
Just don't have any inflection in your voice at all.
But then he jumps on her and starts trying to rape her.
So George somehow
Knows.
knows that she's
Danger,
in
Jessica.
attack, and so he connects to Apache, and then Apache
runs a
program, and
because we see the guy who's assaulting her.
So,
we
yeah.
see his watch fall off.
his watch falls off, and it's I don't know if it's connected. I guess it's
Yes.
connected to a satellite.
Apache knows all.
is, yeah. So it's,
Are you saying the lipstick box was connected to the
I,
satellite?
have no
I don't
fucking-
think so. I don't
Dude,
think so.
I fucking have no idea because it can scan things inside and outside a house.
Everywhere.
It can scan everything, and it can just alter reality. It just pick and choose what its powers are.
So while it's
basically.
doing that, the guy that she likes shows up and he starts
I
fighting.
don't know how the fuck he knew that she was there.
He heard her screaming.
They're like, yeah, and so he pulls her off. He pulls the guy off,
And they start fighting.
They start fighting, and the guy's watch turns into an orb, and he like swallows it and like starts freaking out.
He starts
His-
spasming.
His face starts melting.
Like his eye pops out, and then they run away, and then he
he's-
goes into the fucking lake,
into like this little pond.
and he just explodes.
His whole body just explodes, and you see the face just fucking like have a flasher in it,
And then that's it.
okay. So my question here,
Oh, you have a question?
I do. Why
No.
on earth do some of the orbs kill instantly, and others just affect the person's personality?
I don't know.
It doesn't explain it.
Because Apache tells him to. Because, see, the
What,
woman was running.
Did she crank the?
Well, because the guy got murdered because Apache detected, or George told Apache that there was a
Danger.
danger to Jessica.
And the other one was danger to Jessica.
So it eliminated the danger. And then in the first scene, it was danger to the satellite dish. And so it eliminated the danger.
Okay, sure.
You're not. What I
What,
know
are
you.
you connected?
You don't have a better explanation.
No, I don't.
Thank
That's
you.
probably the best one we're gonna get.
That's it.
So
That's all we got.
anyway, they drive back to the house, I think. Or do they
No,
drive
no.
at the bar?
They go to the fucking gas station.
Oh, that's right. Because the gas station attendant shows she's wanting the evil not secretary, the assistant
Yeah.
is calling to check on her car.
And they're just like,
And
fuck
they're
you.
like, yeah, we're gonna fucking get it.
Well,
fixed
one of the dudes
tomorrow.
he's like, I got a car for her. And then he rubs his ball sack.
It's just a fucking throwaway scene. Who cares?
How dare you? It's
So
not throwaway. It's very important.
They pull up. So the boyfriend and the daughter pull up to the gas station to get gas.
They kiss.
they kiss, and they're all like, and he's like, no, I have to deliver the parcel, and I have to do this
It's
job.
important to my future.
I have to do this job. It's important to my future. Well, you know what? I might get in trouble, but I can go late. And so she's all happy
God.
because they're gonna fuck, basically.
And then there's we see like the woman. They show scenes like at some point with the woman who swallowed the orb, and now she's acting all weird.
Well, she just keeps brushing her hair and like stroking things.
And then at some point, I know there's a scene where the dog who swallowed the orb was sick, and then that goes nowhere. And
Well, the dog doesn't die or anything. They just
not that we know of.
they don't know what the fuck. Like nothing happens with the dog. Literally,
There's nothing. And then
so
we get another scene.
the daughter also gets back to the house.
How dare you? You forgot the very important scene where the dude,
Is it important? Are you
Yes.
sure?
the dude who was fucking the
'Cause
woman
every scene in this movie is
who
important.
swallowed the orb, he goes to the bar, the arcade bar, and he tells them, "Hey, I own the bar now." Where does that scene go?
Nowhere. That's it.
And the buddy who's always listening to the Walkman just says like, "Man, his dad gets him everything." End scene. That's a scene that happened.
Yeah, that literally happens. So the daughter gets back to the house. She changes into a white dress, and she's gonna go tell her dad.
She was in a white dress before.
Oh,
When she got assaulted, she was wearing the white dress.
I'm sorry. So yeah, she changes, and then goes and is gonna go tell the dad that she's gonna go out with a friend,
But he's not there.
but he's not there. So she tells the assistant, and the assistant's like,
Enjoy your dick.
enjoy your dick. I don't fucking care." Like, so anyway, she gets upset. No, she. What the fuck? Does she fucking go out with the guy,
No.
or does he show? No, he shows up to pick her up, and the assistant and him, like, she reveals that him and the assistant have
Are
been
fucking.
fucking, and she gets all upset and goes upstairs.
And yeah.
So this is the daughter that gets upset and goes
Yeah.
upstairs and talks to George. And no, she doesn't talk to George. She just is dejected.
She goes out to the woods.
Yeah.
And then the guy comforts her. And then there's also a scene where the
fucking sorry.
the driver, is at the bar again,
Drinking
his
his
bread. And the two dudes, the Mr. Walkman and Mr. Fucking, are asking him like where the girls are. What's going on there?
And the limousine driver's like, I don't know. And they're
I
like,
know nothing. I'm just a
drive us
driver.
back there, and we'll like, we want to go hang out with them, basically.
So he
they
does.
convince the limousine driver to drive back to the Adobe house.
They go in and we see the fucking butler watching them. And then he calls the assistant and is like, "We have two visitors. They look okay."
Why? I don't know. And so this is also a scene where we at a certain point we did see a spider run across a croissant, and the
woman, the maid freaks out.
The maid freaks out because she's scared of spiders. So the evil woman goes into the kitchen for some reason
And releases a
and
tarantula.
unleashes a fucking tarantula into the sink.
Yes.
I have no idea. So we get a scene of the guys arriving, and the guy's Walkman isn't working.
Yeah. And he just
keeps
says that's
slapping
spooky.
it. That's spooky. So he just starts playing a record, and they just start dancing.
And yeah, they start dancing and making out, and we get a fucking long fucking scene with the Walkman guy and one of the women having sex. And
Oh, you don't say a long sex scene.
yeah, I know, right? Listen, French people do it.
and
People make their movies a little different.
A
Okay.
little bit while they're having sex. Isn't this where the maid is also making like tea, and the orb,
Maybe.
the orb
I think
goes
so.
into the
Yeah.
sugar?
Yeah, it goes.
So that's because that's a personal object.
It becomes sugar because whatever.
So she gets freaked out by the tarantula for some
And
reason.
she starts chugging her coffee
What I don't get is like, what was the point of the tarantula?
to make her chug her coffee.
Because you get a scary scene with the tarantula, okay?
Because she got to chug her coffee. So she chugs her coffee
and then you just see her with an orb in her mouth.
she chugs the orb. And while they're fucking, we see the orb like making its way across the room. Like it's like
One
it's like on the
rolls
nightstand.
into the panties,
and then eventually rolls into the panties. And then after they're done, after our 5-minute long fuck session,
Well, and you see the maid like making out with the fucking tarantula.
yeah, she's like laying,
She's like laying down on the kitchen floor, like kissing the
and it's
tarantula.
like crawling on her hand and everything. And okay, and then they're done, and we see a.
This is the
I
most-
thought it was the same orb,
Dude,
but it
I
turns out
swear
it's
to
not
God,
the same
this
orb.
is-
It's a different orb.
Dude,
We see an
I
orb.
swear to fucking God, this is the most jumbled
Stop.
review ever.
The orb goes into the toothpaste. And I thought it was the same orb from the panties.
Is any of this making sense?
Please let me know.
Is any of this making sense?
So
Yeah, okay, so then, so he goes to brush his teeth, and this is their attempt to build tension. Because he goes into the bathroom
to brush his
and
teeth.
he's gonna put toothpaste on the toothbrush, right? And so, but he's talking to her, so he goes out and he like.
But
waves-
don't forget, this is where she says, "I feel so good. This is the best weekend. I just feel really deep down good. Is it you?" And like,
So he like lays down on the bed with her.
maybe
and,
it's
waves the fucking toothbrush in front of her,
maybe it's time for another round.
and you're like, how am I supposed to feel in this scene? So
to feel
she
deep down good.
She grabs the toothbrush and puts more toothpaste on
And she goes to brush her teeth.
it. So she's about, I love the scene where she's looking in the mirror and she's about to brush her teeth, and
She's
then
like a
she sees
pimple.
like a pimple and
Yeah.
starts playing with it, and then like is about to brush her teeth
And then he
again.
picks up her panties, and then he starts sniffing them or licking them, and
And like inhales the orb,
she puts the toothbrush in her mouth.
and the orb appears.
It appears in her mouth, and then it also
Appears in his mouth.
we see him
the
on the
panties.
bed, and like fucking spasming while he's choking on women's underwear.
trying to yank the women's underwear out of his mouth that's wrapped around this like silver ping pong ball.
Beautiful filmmaking.
Is it?
Yes,
And
I've
all while
never seen anything like
all
that.
while the assistant, the evil assistant, is watching on like little tiny monitors.
Because there's cameras everywhere, and meanwhile, the other guy is still with the other woman.
They're just talking and
making
dancing
out.
and making out.
And then eventually they go to like the pool, and we every time they're together, we see the orb in like random places.
It's just appearing in random.
Like first it's on
not
like
as an object,
No.
as the fucking orb.
like we see it on like a dish with like wine bottles, and then we see it on like a pillow next to them.
And then it's on a fucking like, it's like the lurking,
Yeah.
the menacing,
the
ping
menace in
pong
the background.
ball.
And then
And then it turns into ice.
so it turns into ice, and she puts the ice cubes in her drink. And then they both take sips.
So I guess it turned into 2 ice cubes because there's 2 ice cubes in the drink, and they
Yes.
both drink one of the ice cubes.
And they both become insane.
And one of them falls in the pool,
And then crawls out, and then the dude vanishes.
and the dude vanishes, and you're like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Okay.
And then
I'll ask you again, why the fuck don't the orbs kill anyone at this point?
at some point after this, the daughter and her lover boy are sitting on the deck by a river.
Yes.
And they're sitting there fully clothed. And then the next scene, they're
naked.
fucking.
They're fucking, and they're
And
naked.
while they're fucking, she narrates.
Yeah, we get our first and only narration of the film.
She narrates like I'm watching a fucking porno. Like, oh,
God.
he feels so good to me. I love when he's close to me. I love to smell his body.
This is
And
like-
I'm like,
So apparently, let me bring
What
up
will?
another item of trivia. So they had another director attached to this movie, right? But he said
it's a director we've seen on this podcast, by the way. I want you to know that.
But he said he
He's
didn't.
made 3 movies.
He said he didn't want to do the movie
He didn't want to do another sex film.
because it was a sex film thinly veiled as a horror film.
Hmm.
And I agree with him. Holy fuck. This is just a soft, like the softest core porn movie that's just slightly a horror movie.
You know,
It doesn't even like move the needle in like anything scary in this entire movie. It's fucking silver ping pong balls.
you know what? I think I'm glad he didn't make this movie because only one man could make this. Okay?
H. Salah.
H. Salah. Only he could make something so beautiful.
It
So
truly
after
brought
5
tears
minutes
to my eyes.
of narrated fucking,
This is also like literally 15 minutes remain in the
Yes.
film at this point.
They're done, and then he drives away, and he tells her to meet him at the airfield, and she goes back home, and she gets like
When does the dad come back to? Because he's off on like
I think he comes back at some point
he
here.
was off doing like research or something with the dog.
No, this is when he comes back, I think, because he
because he confronts the assistant.
and he sees that his Apache dial, instead of being set to 40, is set to 100.
It's set to 100, and she's like fucking with all the knobs. And he tries to confront her and turns off Apache, right? And
she takes a giant battery. She goes behind Apache and takes a giant blue battery. It's a giant fucking battery.
And we mean this in the purest sense of the word. She bonks him.
She bonks him on the head and ties him up and locks him in the bathroom.
And so
And then she calls Mr. Shadow and tells him, got it.
I'm coming to
The airfield.
I'm coming to the airfield. And so
do you have the money? And he's like, yes, the money's on its way.
So the daughter is there, and the daughter is at the other house. And then the daughter goes to the Adobe style mansion where all the friends were, and the assistant is there and is like, you failed, like, blah blah, just fucking evil talk.
Well, she gets attacked by everybody.
Well, okay, so the first woman that was like combing her hair too much, now she's like halfway bald
And bleeding.
They're all like distorted and disgusting and have like green Gatorade flowing from their fucking
From everywhere. And one of them, the maid, she keeps stabbing everybody.
I do love. So the dad, it's intercut with the dad trying to get out of the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Because he's tied up in a bathroom, and so he grabs a little tiny razor blade and sticks it into the fucking toilet seat for some reason,
And starts slicing off the rope.
his rope, and then he like tries to get the door open and he can't do it. So then he pulls something off the door and he can't open the door again. He's like, ugh, and you think he's gonna grab another thing. He does grab another thing to like, but he grabs like a post, and apparently that's like the main electrical circuit, because he pulls it and all the power goes off. George goes down, Apache goes down, everything.
Yes.
But of course the zombies are still there. They're still fucking...
Nothing comes of this, by the way.
No.
I also still don't know how he got out of the bathroom.
Well, because remember he grabbed that post and then he broke the bathroom door open.
Oh yeah,
he
he knocks it. He busts through it like fucking Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
And he fucking like turns the key and he goes to his daughter. I love how they're holding each other, right? Because all the mutants are like...
Most of them are
being
dead.
Murdered by one of the other... The maid.
The maid keeps stabbing them.
Yeah, she's like the savior for some reason.
Whatever.
I don't fucking understand.
But she's still alive.
So she stabs the two other mutants, saves the daughter, and just fucks off for a minute while we have this scene of the so the father finally gets with his daughter, and the assistant is telling him, I already sold your plans. I already did this. You failed.
You're bad. You're a bad person.
I love how
you're a bad scientist.
She's like, I have to go, and then she goes, and then you just see
goes
her,
out of frame.
She goes out of frame, and they're like, consoling each other, and then she comes back into frame. You failed. I can't believe you actually. And then she's like, I have to go. Then comes back into frame, and it's like, just tells him.
No one's gonna believe
you. No one's gonna believe you. No, you're
just a mad scientist.
She just like keeps circling. The idea that she keeps just almost leaving and then circling back just
back
to
into frame,
give him another fucking zinger is hilarious to me.
But so she leaves, and she's going to the airfield, and then
she calls the guy. She radios the guy, and
he tells her, "I won."
He's like, "I won.
I have the money. Fuck you.
The blank check was in my name, and you're never going to get this money." Blah blah blah.
And then the fucking dad is shredding all of his documents by hand, and they're all hunky dory.
Well, they're like casually just doing it. They're like, oh, they're kind of like, oh man, we fucked up.
And the daughter's like, I gotta go. So she gives him a kiss. Then she goes to the airfield.
Oh my fucking god!
And before this though, while the bad woman's driving, we saw someone else get into the limo with her.
And then you see like a hand, and you're like, oh, it must be the butler lady, because she's the only, the maid, because she's the only one alive still.
That we saw alive, yeah.
I mean, alive, quote unquote. And so the woman finally gets to the airfield, and she gets out of the car, and immediately the maid just slits her throat.
And then she starts coming towards our guy. The daughter gets there, and she's like yelling for him.
Well, what's weird
Oh my
is
God.
like he pulled the power cord,
my
but
God.
George starts up again for some reason,
George is alive now.
and the
He detects
guy,
danger.
the guy like goes into the. He thinks he sees the daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes in, and it's the maid, and they start tussling, right?
Well, they don't tussle. He just grabs a wrench.
Oh, he grabs, yeah, because he knows, yeah. Sorry, he grabs a wrench, and of course George is like, "Danger, Jessica! Danger, engage! Mission, danger, Jessica!"
Mission 14, engage. Yeah.
And so he smashes the maid's face in, and immediately the fucking garage door just slams down on the boyfriend,
And kills him.
and she screams, and movie ends. That's how they ended the movie.
That's it.
No explanation, no fucking like resolution, nothing.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Now, the movie goes so fucking fast, you don't get a feel for any of the characters whatsoever.
Are you kidding
But
me?
that doesn't fucking matter.
Are you fucking kidding me? Feel?
You get they fucking love fucking.
They want to be fucked.
That's it.
This movie is a collection of people who want to fuck and want to be fucked.
This is a universe where they are the easiest people ever.
This is...
You could bag anyone in this.
Just
universe.
look at them.
You just fucking have to look at them, and you're in love.
Especially this fucking bar. This fucking arcade bar.
It just has like everyone's like a fucking nymphomaniac.
Bro, there's something in those fucking 7-Ups. Okay?
I get why he's pouring them all the time now. It makes everyone a nymphomaniac.
Oh my god.
Everyone just wants to fuck after drinking that 7-Up.
Is there anything we're forgetting about this fucking movie?
Heads up 7-Up. You know what I mean?
Deep down good.
Deep down good. Heads up 7-Up. Oh, are we forgetting any scenes? I don't know. Because there's like it goes so fucking quick. It's hard to like grasp any scene because
It's
it just cuts
jaw-dropping.
immediately to like the next one.
No, this is incredible filmmaking.
It is literally like fucking a softcore porn.
It's
where
jaw-dropping,
where the
dude.
plot doesn't fucking matter. It's just scene after scene after scene of like just fucking and then sort of a plot loosely stringing it together.
A slight exaggeration, because you don't really get that until you get to the fucking...
It is a slight exaggeration.
last-
but it kind of
the last half hour.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, it's like it is pretty loosely strung together. That's not an over exaggeration.
No, it's this is very coherent.
The plot is there. I mean,
Oh, it's so coherent.
There is something there. But,
Oh yeah, there's something
but
there.
it's literally you know what the focus is, and
There is
that
dicks.
focus is dicks.
There's a focus on fucking and pinball orbs.
And fucking on a pinball machine.
How poetry? It rhymes. She saw him fucking, and she wanted to be fucked. See, it's like poetry.
Now, again, you don't get any resolution. There's no
Yeah, you do. He's dead.
experiment failed.
Yes.
Boyfriend's dead. Daughter's alive. Dad's alive. That's it.
That's all you need.
Everyone else is dead. It's just the two people that survived.
Someone's got to take over that fucking that arcade bar now.
I just hope the Doberman's okay.
That
That's what I
goes
really-
nowhere.
No, you don't know what the fuck happened with the
Like
dog.
everything else in this movie, it goes fucking nowhere.
Well, the dad like fucks off for like half the movie too.
I don't even remember where he went.
I don't either. He's just gone. He's just not there
Yeah, I don't
for like
fucking know.
literally like half the movie.
Yeah.
You fucking cares? It's just people fucking, and then like the lightest plot, like just kind of thinly over it, laid over it. It's just it is really just a thinly veiled sex movie that kind of, sort of, is a horror movie. Very little.
What else would you label this as?
I don't know.
There's
There's nothing else there.
the closest thing is a horror movie. That's all you get.
If I had to define it, It would be a softcore porn, but it is technically a horror movie.
Softcore porn is not a genre that you can put on IMDb.
It is
So
not.
you have to put horror.
So horror.
There you
because
go.
there are one tiny little shred of horror
Like
elements.
horror and sci-fi. There you go.
Yeah. I mean,
A magical
those
computer.
those two genres really take a back seat to everything else. But yeah,
to the bullshit.
one of my favorite scenes is the deep down feely good one, because the way they try and build tension is exactly what I would expect from a fucking.
Because we watch.
It's exactly what I expected from a porn movie.
Well, because we watched like a 5-minute long, like slow sex scene with like weird continuity errors.
And then they try and build tension with a toothbrush.
You know, he's going to the bathroom to brush his teeth, and she's just on the bed like, oh, this is the best weekend. I feel so deep down good.
Well, I just love it because they're like, will he brush his teeth or will she brush her teeth? When are they going to pick up the panties? Oh, what's going to happen? Oh my God. It's like if whatever the opposite of like
Tension?
white knuckle tension you
This
have.
is it.
This is it.
This is the movie.
There is no tension whatsoever. I just love also how all this horrific shit is happening, and the dad just acts like it's just an oopsie doopsies, like fucking like, oh, we kind of messed up.
Dude, it's like, I don't even know if he really knows.
He doesn't really care if he does.
I don't even know if you actually ever see him find out what happened to the fucking people.
Well, no, he goes in the house to save his daughter.
He just sees her covered in Gatorade.
Yeah, but he sees all the dead bodies all over.
Does he, though?
Presumably.
You think.
They're in the same house where all those bodies died.
But that's a
what, do
man.
they just disintegrate?
It's a big house, Will. Well, actually, wait, you say that, but there is the one shot of the one woman sitting there, and then they do the fucking, the red zap, and it they overlay the green ray gun on her head, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And then just cuts scene.
But I don't
know if that was
conveying.
I don't know if that was implying that it exploded her.
Maybe they did explode into green Gatorade, and you're just wondering if they had just a fucking
A Gatorade sex party.
fucking Gatorade slip and slide orgy.
That's what I mean. There's no answer.
He's like, oh, my daughter's into some freaky shit.
I gotta save her.
Oh my God. So shitty to pretty.
Listen.
Okay, so if you're new,
There's only one.
I know we explain this every time, but I'm going to explain it again. If you're new to the podcast, shitty to pretty
Entertainment.
is entertainment value, not how good a movie is.
And-
Because honestly, every movie we watch on here, save for a very few, would get like a 1.
No.
No, I know. But that's an over-exaggeration, but you get what I mean. It's like entertainment value is how we rate these movies. Is that how entertaining and how rewatchable they are.
There's only one rating.
Do not give it a 10.
This is a 10. How can you not give this a 10? There's not one moment of this that is not incredible.
I was going to say don't give it a 10 because our ratings are always the fucking same.
You wanted me to give it
Because I was hoping.
It's a 9.9.
Maybe you'll give it like a 9. I can give it
No
a
way,
10.
dude. This is too perfect.
It is so fucking entertaining and literally does not give you a single break. It's like it's an hour and 25 minutes. It just flies by.
No, there is not one moment where I was bored.
No. Yeah, how can you be? It goes so fucking fast.
But even when there's nothing happening.
There's very few scenes of nothing happening.
But even then, when it's just people, I don't know, fucking walking, they do some weird shit.
Now, to our director's credit,
What, Will?
the sex scenes were well filmed. I'm just saying.
No, look, the movie's not. Here's what's weird about the movie is it's not bad looking,
No, it really isn't.
which is weird.
Even some of the effects are pretty decent.
Well, yeah, the effects are decent. It's, it's well lit. It's a very.
No, does it make sense? That's debatable.
I mean, there's only 3 locations, but it's a very stylish looking movie.
I will say, if I had to nitpick anything, the ADR is so fucking off. But I honestly,
that's the
I
joy.
honestly think that adds to it.
Yeah.
It's almost like watching a dubbed martial arts film.
Yeah, except it's
But it's like a French-made American
with American
porn
actors
film.
who are speaking.
It's a French,
Yeah.
a French-made American horror and sci-fi, quote unquote. That's basically just a porno
Yeah.
with some elements to make it like a movie.
Oh, it's a movie.
It is a movie.
It's an hour and a half.
It is. Holy shit. But go watch. I mean, if you haven't watched it by now, please go watch it. You have to know. Because I guarantee that review did not give it credit.
You
because
have to watch this
We
thing.
were all fucking over the
Because-
place. Like a fucking pinball machine. Like a ball in a pinball machine.
Ball.
Ding, 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 ding.
There's a lot of. Someone got some balls in this movie.
Oh, well, a lot. You don't
Deep.
see any balls, but people got balls.
They got bald.
People got bald in more ways than one.
I can't believe I've never heard of this stupid fucking movie before.
I don't know either. I don't know how this doesn't have a cult following.
I mean, it got a Blu-ray release.
So maybe there is enough fans that it
But
it's
man,
pretty popular. Go watch it.
You people gotta
It is-
see this.
It's so fucking entertaining because you know what they were trying to do.
but I don't know what they were trying to do.
I think it's like an R-rated porno film that has a little bit of horror and sci-fi to it.
But there's not that much fucking until the last half hour,
There's
which is
quite
what's
a
weird.
bit of sex.
There's like a minute in the limo,
The limo and the pinball machine. Her
Kind of.
titties like out.
barely.
They clearly fuck on.
Well,
the
they
pinball
fuck on
machine.
it, but still,
It
there's
kind of
not like
lingers on her like she's laying on the pinball machine.
no. I know what they linger on. They linger on her looking at the woman and like winking sexily. Remember? Remember that?
That was the director at the audience, just just winking at. Hey, you know what I'm trying to do here?
And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'm very confused.
Because-
can you please tell me what you're trying to do?
Like, there's not like enough sex
Well,
for this
'cause-
to be a porno.
Because it has to be an R. What I'm saying is
R-rated.
it's R-rated, so they couldn't do like an actual porno where it's
Yeah.
just like sex scene after sex scene, right?
Because it
You
would
have
push it
to
over the
have
limit.
a fucking movie somewhere.
But it's like,
But it's like the softest.
why is it
horror-
dubbed?
I don't know.
They're clearly speaking English.
Yeah.
If you read their lips.
Why was it dubbed by different people? What? Like why?
Why is there a magical puppet? Like, that was a choice.
George never gets explained. He's just there.
If he was explained at any point, we probably were laughing too hard to get it.
Yeah. And that's why it deserves a 10 out of 10 because who fucking cares? Just enjoy the movie.
The fact that I don't give a shit and I still love it.
The fact that there is plot holes fucking galore in this movie and I really don't care about
There's
it.
nothing in this movie that has any payoff.
No. If you think about it, nothing.
Not a single fucking thing that they
But
tell
it's
you.
fucking entertaining
And
as fuck.
that is why it's amazing.
Yeah.
If this was
10 out of
more
10.
competent, it would be worse.
Yeah. If it wasn't made by a porno director, I think it would be worse.
A fucking French porno director, his only non-porno.
His only like
So
I was gonna say studio release, but I don't think it was
some
a studio
fucking
release.
goons paid him money to come to the U.S. and make this thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
and his entire crew, presumably, or a French crew at least.
a French crew. Yeah, they all came over here,
I don't know how that happens, but it's beautiful.
and we got this masterpiece.
So go watch Nightmare Weekend. It's anything but a nightmare.
Oh, this is
It's-
joyous.
It's insanely entertaining. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Just fucking go watch it. Like it's so entertaining. Go on Tubi and just enjoy it. I know there's ads. Just
Trust me,
it'll
man.
be fine.
It's so worth it.
It's so worth it. All right. Well, anyway, I think that's it. Yeah,
That's it.
For They Mostly Come Out at Night. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Feeling like going to a barcade.
I hope that all your weeks is deep down good.
All your weekends.
All your weekends are deep down good.
Deep down.
Deep down, the deepest down you can get. Good.